When one considers how our world is structured, our thoughts, nebulous as they may be, are articulated in purely visual terms. Architecture, however, is first and foremost a mathematical equation, a summary of parts, but what else is there that is taken into account beyond mere numbers? And to whom are these numbers at service too? The landscape of Liverpool, once occupied by the church and all the fruits of prosperous maritime trade, saw a rapid economic downturn as markets expanded and looked elsewhere for more economically viable labour across the seas. The mythical liverbird, once an inspirited, providential symbol, beckoning towards the sailors, inspiring a safe return, now took on the spirit of a far more wistful nature, gazing sorrowfully towards the horizon, awaiting the return of capital. This sudden transfer of wealth, and the aftermath of a world war, dictated that the city of Liverpool seek drastic rejuvenation in order to remain economically and thus culturally relevant. Elected officials hastily began to diversify the landscape, seeking an expeditious approach to architecture. The liminal passages that defined the spaces between the sanctified establishments of the church, school, and the market needed to be erected with due diligence and force in order to sustain an increasing population and the city's significance from the hitherto ashes of capital. The Liverpool Anglican Cathedral was drafted by Sir Giles Gilbert Scott in 1901. The appointed aesthetic, however, recalled that of the Gothic, a style long preceding the structure by some 500 years. During its very conception, the revival-style architecture was a romantic reanimation of that what has already passed. Due to a failing economy, however, and an unforgiving diversion into modernity, capital rendered the building an architectural anachronism, as throughout its decades-long construction, the circumjacent structures surrounding the area were advancing at a far more brisk pace in keeping with the needs of the economy. Due to the very nature of this, the cathedral now protrudes from the landscape as a phantom, a spectral reminder of a world paved and structured with a transcendent, unifying aesthetic for the people, an affirmation of life beyond the pageantry of capital, the new divinity. This newly emerging and ever-changing architecture that would soon circumscribe the city sought to utilise cost-effective materials in order to resurrect the infrastructure ravaged by the war. Such a meretricious approach, however, manifested a topographic paradox, as the skyline embodied the spirits of aesthetics at odds with each other's existence. Tradition and capital now contentiously intertwined like a thorned wreath. Efforts have been made in order to preserve a sense of history within the city to no avail, as the Stygian rivers of modernity that flow between present the structures as an antiquated historical artefact, awaiting their transmutation into vast, towering chambers of bromidic minimalism. The Liverpool de Rive is defined by these aesthetic anomalies, a discordant reminder of the historical amnesia amidst the embrace of a metropolitan improvidence. The city is rendered a hopscotch, simplistic, purely functionary structures imposed upon a landscape, outlined, utilised, and quickly erased with libertine abandon.
This is romance, it's a moment of splendor, yet you fail to surrender to a night such as this.